First off, I just want to say I'm opposed to catching people. I know, like it's a great metaphor. Jesus is doing his part. In other translations, it's you'll be fishing for men, fishers of men. Um, like church should not be a trap. Um, and I feel like for some folks it has been, and I am sorry. And we need a support group for that. But uh, let me know if you feel like that ever. This should not be about bait or catching or nets. And I don't think that's maybe what Jesus' intention is, as much as like, here's a great metaphor, and he's working on his preaching. So Jesus is there at the shore, and he knows Simon a little bit more than the other gospels kind of let on, right? The Gospel of Luke, the disciples have to be wooed a little more. They have to be invited a little more. They like dip a toe in and think about it. They're not just like, yeah, we're leaving our jobs. We're heading off with you into the great unknown. In the Gospel of Luke, Jesus has already met Simon Peter's mom, or mother-in-law, I should say. He's already been healing and teaching and being with the people. He's organizing around this sea because the Roman Empire is investing money into it. And these investments really cost the local folks, right? Herod's son is doing this work. And people are feeling the pinch. The folks who make a living on the sea. The folks who make a living on this great lake. And so he's there. And he knows Simon Peter already. He has healed his mother-in-law, which just, again, PSA about biblical healings. This is not about like some kind of magic. It is a different technology than we have. We don't maybe practice healing in that way. The difference is, the miracle is, like, you don't have to have a copay or an insurance card. Like, he makes home visits, all of it. Jesus has already healed Simon Peter's mother-in-law, and now he's down by the shore, and the folks are looking for healing and teaching and exploring this new way. They're feeling this kind of pressure from the Roman Empire and the economy that doesn't value them. And so in the midst of this, the crowds crowd in. And Jesus sees a boat, and he goes out from the shore a bit, and he continues to teach, and then he tells Simon Peter to put down his nets, to go into the deep water, to go out a little further. And I just imagine, like, these fishermen, like, aren't you a carpenter? Like, what do you know? I have been doing this all night. Like, that probably would have been my response. But Simon Peter, something about this moment is like, okay, I'll try that. I mean, I've tried, and I've done this my whole life, but okay. They go out into the deep, and they lower the nets, and they are filling these much mended, hand-cared for nets, so much so that his friends James and John have to come out, and they fill these boats to overflowing, and it's a moment, a sign of abundance. When you get involved with this sense of your deepest calling, your deepest self, and you go out and you continue and you try again and you go deeper, even though it's uncertain and unsure, there is this abundance, this moment where we are all filled so much. The disciples will have to learn and learn and relearn and learn again. Jesus will invite them on this journey that requires discipline and practice and persistence and correction over and over. And all along the way, there are these moments that are profound glimpses of abundance. Now, I don't know about your journey and where you are. Maybe you have been fishing all night and you are tired and you want to go to bed. And you're not really sure there's a bunch of fish left. Maybe we're in a space of trying to decide where we're called or what we're doing for this work that is bigger than all of us, for this calling that's seated within us. But I want to draw us into this sense of persistence, rooted in the disciples and laid alongside this conversation in Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. And so she talks about this work of persistence. And that maybe the first thing is finding what is really worthy of your persistence. Maybe it's fishing, or maybe it's going on an adventure for something new. But she says the best way to figure out what your real call is, and she quotes another author, Mason, is that everything you do has something that is unfun, to use the nicest word, and that you have to decide what you love enough to be willing to eat a S sandwich for. That S comes with other letters. I just don't want to be the reason that some folks go to elementary school and use that S word. So from henceforth, I'm going to use the word turkey. She says that in deciding what you have to do, what you feel called to do, what is so important to you, you have to be willing to eat the flavor of turkey sandwich that comes with it, and that everything comes with turkey sandwiches. If you are a musician, if you love gigs, but you hate traveling or being out on Friday night and working, that is your turkey sandwich. If you are an educator, there is so many turkey sandwiches, and there's turkey everywhere. And they are wanting people to put out a year's worth of teaching plans in the summer to pick it apart, every little word, like they know anything about education. There's just so much turkey. If you are in healthcare, you may love healing people, you may love meeting with clients, but you will also have to fill out insurance forms, and there will be CEUs you have to get on a long Zoom that is very boring. There's a lot of turkey, and I'm not saying that there isn't turkey sandwiches that we should fix. It's just there's always going to be some kind of turkey sandwich. If you are a pastor, if you are in ministry, there will be Easter Sunday and Christmas and Eve, and then there will be the Sunday after. There are highs and lows. There are moments where you have to listen to hard things. There are moments where people are projecting at you. There are moments of anxiety and stress. And then there are moments of gift and grace and possibility. If you are in hospitality, and you love greeting folks at the coffee bar, you love serving them something, if you love welcoming them to your hotel or to your restaurant, there are also people who literally make turkey sandwiches in the urinal. And it is a spiritual practice to continue loving people. Because sometimes people are full of turkey. Everything comes with its own turkey sandwich. If you love being a parent, there's like turkey of every color in all kinds of places. It is not just always giggles and cuddles and making fun crafts. It's that, for sure. You just have to decide what you love enough, what's meaningful enough, what matters to you so much that you're willing to put up with all of the turkey that comes with it. And once you have found that, once you have sensed that truest part of you, she says you need discipline. You need discipline to keep at it. She, as a writer, talks about setting a timer just to make herself work. Once when she was feeling a lull about writing, she dressed up to work just like she was having an affair with her creativity, whatever it takes to stay in the work. And she said that she always tried to make her creativity this work that is beyond her, this work that is alongside her, and to not yell at it like, you will earn me a living. Because she says that is like yelling at a cat, and it does not understand you or care, and you're probably scaring it away. Creativity requires discipline and practice so that we can be fully a part of it. She says, as she practiced again and again and received each rejection and learned from it and learned what she needed from it, she also began to feel her patterns, to be aware. Okay, this is the time in the project where I am sure I am not competent. This is the time when I'm sure I cannot write an accurate sentence. This is the time where I begin to freak out about deadlines. This is the time when I finish the book and I am sure I will never have another idea in my life. Maybe you have that in the vocation where you are. I know after some time in this work of ministry, I can see these patterns and I can be more present, right? Like, oh, this is the time when the conference gets anxious and I just need to let them take a deep breath. It's not about me. Oh, this is the time when someone brand new has been through something really hard and they're dipping a toe in and they'll be back in like 2 years. It's not about me. This is the time when folks are getting anxious. This is the time when something exciting is happening and we need to put energy into it. This is the time when I need to shut up. Right? Like we gain practice and we know ourselves better as we enter into these disciplines. This is the time where I'm annoyed by everybody because I need to take a nap, right? We start to know ourselves better and know our gifts better as we practice them. The other thing she warns about is not just discipline and being intentional and naming that we can't control talent or good fortune, that we can only control discipline. She says perfection is the enemy of discipline, or the enemy of creativity, I should say. That something good finished is better than something perfect that never gets started. Something good in the world gives life, a song that gives a refrain that matters to people, a word or two or a work that happens. It matters. Enough that perfection shouldn't have stopped it. And for all of the ways that we can talk about perfection, I like hers, which is perfection is dressed up fear. She talks about it as fear in a mink coat and fancy high heels. Like, just things have to be so perfect. But that really, it's this fear about putting ourselves out there or putting our hearts out there or putting this creative work out there or being a part of the world in a way that shapes and reshapes us and it. In the end, this willingness to let go of perfection and to show up is what matters. We can probably see it in our lives. We can see it in the political world when folks will torpedo a bill because it's not perfect, even if it's good, even if it gets us a little bit further. Maybe there are spaces where we need to keep working and taking it one step at a time. In the story about this lake shore, Jesus doesn't pick people who are perfect. Like, Peter is the worst sometimes. He is comically bad most of the time in the New Testament. He's not perfect. Is he present? Is he willing to learn? Does he stay at it and work through it and work on it over and over? This is the work of making all things new, of going out into the deeper water and to finding this glimpse of abundance. May we have the courage. May it be so. Amen.